What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we're about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private, traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we marched into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic in my opinion. Order 66 and how it was perceived by the clones. This was inspired by one of my Q&A questions asked by a Patreon. If you watched the Clone Wars series, spoilers ahead, you will know that the reason to why the clones killed the Jedi and obeyed Order 66 without hesitating was due to their chip implants in the brain. This made the explanation so much more understandable because when you followed the clones for 6 seasons and seen the relationship with the Jedi, you just couldn't understand how the hell they could just execute them without hesitating at all. But this explanation hasn't always been the case. When only the movies were out, we didn't really get to see this relationship between the clones and Jedi at all, since the gap between episode 2 and 3 was quite big, so I think most people just thought that the clones actually knew about Order 66, although they never outright said so. Or did they? Well, recently I went back and looked over the Battlefront 2 campaign, and I honestly didn't remember this, but the clones of the 501st who narrates the cinematics between each game actually openly talked about killing the Jedi. I thought this was extremely interesting to watch now after I watched the Clone Wars series, as it's a huge contrast to how the clones were perceived in the actual Clone Wars series. The old Battlefront games are obviously not canon, so the Clone Wars explanation is the real one. But let me show you a clip from the Battlefront 2 campaign just to give you a bit of a background, because many of you probably haven't played the campaign for years.
It's been said that the 501st got the best of the war. We also got the worst. On Felucia, the Seps dug their metal heels into the muck of that alien hellhole and dared the Republic to come in after them. So we did, only to be met with the month after month of flesh-eating diseases, shrieking nocturnal predators, and other sights that haunt me to this day. Cut off and for all we knew, abandoned by our superiors. Our only hope was Aayla Secura, our Jedi commander. Without her iron will, none of us would have come out of that mess with our sanity or our lives. When her death came, I hope it was quick. She earned that much. When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Aayla Secura made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she had ever seen. It's a good thing we were wearing helmets, because none of us could bear to look her in the eye.
Seeing this was kind of an eye-opener to me, as I don't think I ever reflected too much about this when I was a kid and played this game, especially since the Clone Wars series wasn't out. It really completely changes the way you look at the clones compared to if you watch the Clone Wars series. Personally, I think the Clone Wars series explanation does make a lot more sense, as having hundreds of thousands of clones that know about a secret that would ruin Palpatine's plan at the same time as you're around mind-reading Jedi doesn't really make a lot of sense. So although the narrative in Battlefront 2 was pretty cool, I do prefer the one in the Clone Wars series. Although Battlefront 2's campaign wasn't really much of a campaign gameplay-wise, it was still very nice to actually get into the heads of the 501st clone troopers and see them throughout the Clone Wars and Galactic Civil War and how they changed, so it kind of bridged the gap in between the original and prequel trilogy nicely. But that is all for this video. Please let me know in the comments below what you think about the clones and how they perceived Order 66. I thought this was a very interesting topic to talk about, and I'm curious to hear what you think. Don't forget to subscribe for more Battlefront and Star Wars content, and check out the videos on the screen if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.